Hey guys, Crazy Postman here. Well, I thought I would do a video of just showing you what Luba's gonna do when you tell it to do various different path options. So this first video here is a standard zigzag path. And what that is just Luba going back and forth in one pass for the entire yard. Now this is going to be similar if you just use efficient cutting. Now all that's going to be is a preset speed and a preset path spacing. You also don't get the no-go zone laps if you do efficient cutting, so that's something to keep in mind. I almost always do a custom cut anyway, just so I can choose all the settings that I want to choose. So this is your standard zigzag path cutting style, and it's just going back and forth. I did tell it to not do a perimeter lap, so that's why it went straight into the back and forth sections here. If you're planning on cutting your yard, say 3 times per week, a zigzag path is what I would suggest, and then just change your angle for the other 2 days. So one day do a 0, one day do a 45, and one day do a 90, and then just repeat for the next week. And that, I think, will make your yard look great. So the next cut I'm going to show you is the chessboard path pattern. So this is kind of like a double cut. It's going to do the regular zigzag, and then it's going to turn 90 degrees and do the zigzag again. So it'll make sure it gets every blade of grass cut. This is like the fine cut option. The only difference here is I have my spacing wider and my speed higher on the custom setting. If you did the fine cut, it would have your mower going a little slower and using a much smaller cutting path just to make sure it does a really good job. So you can see here it's just about done with the north and south zigzags, and it's going to go over here and start the east-west zigzags. Just like that. Now, I don't have these videos perfectly timed up. It's off just a little bit. You'll have to forgive me. It was really hard because the camera's recording in time-lapse and the screen recording is in real time. I just sped it up, so it was really hard to get them to match up. But the yard is looking really good now. Of course, this is the 3rd pass I've cut this afternoon, and we got one more to go, so my yard looks excellent. Every blade of grass is cut after this video. Got a little bit more to do down here at the bottom, and then it will come back to the charger, and we will start the next design. My computer's fans are running at Mach 12 in the background, so you'll just have to ignore those for me. I just wanted to show you how I set this next one up. You can see I'm running a custom setting with 13 spacing and 1.3 speed. I changed the cutting path to 45 degrees because I wanted to do it at an angle, and that's using the standard zigzag path. Now, I did choose to do a perimeter lap on this one. You can see I'm deciding to do the perimeter lap, and I changed the perimeter laps to 1. And in hindsight, that was probably a bad choice because there was a tiny strip of grass missed. I should have chose 2, but I went with 1, so we learned a lesson. Everything checks out with the robot, and I hit start. So let's go ahead and watch this diagonal cut and see how it does. So I get up here in the corner, and I always lose RTK precision up here in this corner. You can see it flick in and out a few times while I'm up there in that corner. And then it does the perimeter lap, which I probably should have done at least 2 perimeter laps because it did miss a tiny little strip that I noticed. So it does that 1 perimeter lap, and then it gets back up in the corner again, and then it cuts all the way across the yard, which is kind of a weird thing for it to do because it cuts all the way across the yard. So it does kind of leave a mark in the grass when it goes boop, just straight across the yard like that. But now you can see it doing its little zigzag thing back and forth across the yard. And it will take it approximately 20 more minutes to get back to the charging station. So I hope this helps you kind of visualize Luba's different cutting path options. And I did a 45-degree angle here, but you can do any angle you want, positive and negative angles. So I could have done a 45-degree angle in the opposite direction, or a 20-degree angle, or a 5-degree angle. You can change these angles to whatever you want. You can have Luba mow every day and do different angles every day, different cuts every day. I just like using these custom options because you can just choose exactly what you want. Or if you don't want to mess with it, you can just do a fine cut every day, and Luba will go both directions and make sure everything is covered. You have a lot of options here to really get it the way you want it. So I hope this video helped everybody kind of visualize what's going on with Luba paths. Thanks for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one.